Welcome to Papers Review, where science meets your everyday choices. Have you ever wondered if your favorite gym playlist is actually doing more than just pumping you up? Could it be that music, especially the songs you choose yourself, actually improves your physical performance? In this episode of Papers Review, we'll be breaking down a fascinating study by Cutrufello, Benson, and Landram published in the Journal of Sports Medicine and Physical Fitness in 2020. This isn't just another music makes you feel good story. This paper dives deep into whether listening to music can help you push harder, lift longer, and recover faster during real, high-intensity workouts. The researchers wanted to know, can self-selected music enhance anaerobic performance, muscular endurance, and post-exercise recovery? And does it work equally for men and women? To answer that, they recruited a group of healthy college-aged individuals of both men and women and had them perform two very familiar types of intense exercise, the bench press and the Wingate anaerobic test, also known as the WAT. The bench press test involved performing 5 sets to failure at 70% of the participant S1 rep max. If you've ever tried that, you know it gets brutal after set 3. The WAT, on the other hand, is a 30-second all-out sprint on a cycle ergometer. It is one of the gold standards for testing anaerobic power. Pure suffering, but very effective for research. Now here is where it gets interesting. Each participant did these tests twice, once while listening to their favorite music, and once in silence. The researchers measured total work output, peak power, the number of reps performed in the bench press, and even how fast the participant's heart rate came down after the Wingate test. So what happened? Let us start with total work in the Wingate test. With music, participants averaged over 16,000 kilojoules of total work. Without music, that number dropped to just over 15,000. That is a 7% increase, statistically significant, with a p-value of 0.024. And what about peak power during that same 30-second all-out sprint? Music helped there too. Peak power increased by about 7.7% when participants had their favorite tunes playing in their ears. That is not a small change. We're talking about jumping from roughly 41 watts to nearly 45. In the context of short, explosive movements, that kind of increase could mean the difference between a personal best and just an average day. And moving on to the bench press results, the findings were just as compelling. When participants listened to their preferred music, they completed more reps overall. To be precise, the average number of reps across all 5 sets was 41.7 with music. Without music, it dropped to 38.3. That is nearly a 9% increase in endurance, achieved simply by letting people listen to songs that motivated them. But perhaps the most intriguing result came from what happened after the exercise. Specifically, the researchers looked at heart rate recovery following the Wingate test. This matters because a faster return to baseline heart rate is often linked to better conditioning and faster recovery between bouts. With music, participants' heart rates returned to baseline about 37 seconds faster than they did in silence. That may not sound like much, but in high-intensity training or competitive settings, shaving even 30 seconds off your recovery time can be a game-changer. Now you might be wondering, how is music doing all this? Is it changing the way the muscles contract? Is it altering energy systems in the body? Not quite. The evidence suggests that the benefits of music aren't primarily physiological, they are psychological. Music doesn't make your muscles stronger by magic. What it does do is alter your mental and emotional state in a way that enhances performance. When you hear music you love, especially during physically demanding tasks, it can boost motivation, increase arousal, and distract you from the discomfort that naturally builds during exercise. You become more focused, less aware of fatigue, and in some cases more emotionally charged to perform. It's similar to the way a powerful speech or charged atmosphere can push athletes to do more than they thought possible. And importantly, the study found no significant differences between men and women in any of these effects. That means these psychological benefits of music appear to work similarly across genders, at least in the context of high-intensity anaerobic work. Other studies have explored the effects of music on anaerobic and resistance performance with mixed but informative outcomes. For instance, one study by Atan in 2013 looked at music tempo during sprints and Wingate tests. Participants listened to fast music, slow music, or no music at all. Interestingly, there were no statistically significant differences in performance, heart rate, or lactate levels. That suggests tempo alone might not be the secret, it is the personal connection to the music that makes a difference. A more relevant comparison comes from Bowman and colleagues in 2021. Their study found that preferred music and not just any music improved motivation and repetition count in resistance training. In other words, the songs that you pick matter more than something chosen at random or designed to be generically high energy. And in a recent 2025 study by Cavagini and colleagues, researchers tested athletes during sprint protocols. While power outputs didn't too significantly change, motivation scores went up when athletes trained with their favorite music. Once again, the consistent theme is this: psychological benefits first, physical output second. So what does this mean for your own training? If you're working through a heavy bench session, pushing hard on the bike, or even grinding through interval sprints, playing your favorite tracks might help you squeeze out a few more reps or maintain power just a little longer. It wouldn't turn you into a superhero, but it could give you that extra nudge when you need it most. From a programming perspective, it's simple: bring in music during workouts that demand high motivation or mental stamina. This could be your high rep strength sets, anaerobic intervals, or even burnout finishes. Avoid relying on music as a crutch during skill work or sessions where internal focus is more important than distraction. Ultimately, the study from Cutrufello and colleagues gives us solid evidence. Listening to your own music during intense anaerobic efforts improves performance by about 8%, helps you recover faster, and applies equally to men and women. But the reason it works isn't because your muscles suddenly become more efficient. It works because you become more engaged, more energized, and more willing to suffer just a little longer. So next time you hit the gym, don't just press play, pick a song that fires you up. Let it carry you through the grind. Because as this research shows, what you hear might just influence what you lift. This has been Papers Review. If this breakdown helped you understand your training a little better, consider subscribing for more science-backed reviews. And if there's a question that has been on your mind, or something about fitness, recovery, nutrition, or performance, leave it in the comments. I'll find the most relevant scientific paper and break it down in a future episode. Let's turn your curiosity into knowledge. And as always, stay strong, stay curious.